We are at the end of 2023 and the iPhone 15 just came out, and I wonder, can I take a step back in time? I picked up the iPhone 6s Plus off eBay for about $70. Can I still use this phone even though it came out in 2015? Is it any good still, or is it just too old? The iPhone 6s Plus was my favorite iPhone, like way back when. It was the last iPhone with a headphone jack. Even with a phone that's about 8 years old, is it still any good? Yes and no. I've had major issues with the battery life. I have to keep battery saver mode on, or the phone will die within an hour. I took it to the Apple store to see if they can maybe fix it, but they quoted me about $80 to get the battery swapped out. Granted, I only paid about $70 for this phone off eBay. It really wouldn't be worth it because I'll pay to have a new battery more than what I paid for the phone itself. Even with battery saver mode, I can maybe get about 4 hours. Look closely at the time. You can watch how fast the battery will drain. Lithium-ion batteries need to be swapped out every couple years. Just watch the time and watch the battery percentage, and this thing goes really quick. The iPhone 6s Plus is still pretty usable. I believe this phone only has 3 gigabytes of RAM. Like, this thing is slow. Think of it like a toddler. You have to have patience. Any newer phone will open up the application within about 3 to 4 seconds. This phone takes anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds to open anything up. The last update for it was iOS 15. Even trying to hook up my Apple Watch to it, I had really no luck. Even trying to connect anything with it over Bluetooth, this thing struggles. AirDrop is really slow. I do miss the physical home button. The phone will work, but it's really slow. Battery life is terrible, and I really cannot connect anything to it. With my day-to-day activities, it will work, and half the time, nothing really loads. Google Maps barely works. Like, this thing chugs to get by. Even throughout the night, I hear whispers of this phone screaming. It just wants to be powered off and buried. So if you're looking for an iPhone under $60, you broke your phone, the new iPhone comes out in a couple weeks, you need a phone to hold you over, there are better alternatives out there. The single individual camera does work. It's still better than some budget Android phones out there, so it at least has that much going for itself. I do have wireless CarPlay hooked up. I have a dongle from CarLinkit called the 2Air. This box actually works really good when it comes to wireless Android Auto or wireless CarPlay. It will work well with any modern phone, but here with the 6S, you can either do navigation or maps. You cannot do both. There's really not enough RAM. There's really not enough horsepower to do both. I'm surprised it can really do wireless CarPlay. You can either do maps or music. You cannot do both. It does work, but it barely works. Like, it really struggles trying to launch Google Maps. I mean, it really does struggle even trying to open anything. Even with wired CarPlay, if you go to eBay and if you need a cheap iPhone to get, do not buy the 6S Plus. That phone is way too old to use in 2023. You can pick up the 7 Plus for a little bit more than $100. You can pick up the 8 Plus for about $130. For any iPhone that old, I would not go below that. If you really are on a cheap budget, the iPhone 8 Plus would really be the best sub $150 iPhone to maybe look at. So this year, it doesn't get the new OS update. The phone is that old. For a little bit more, you can get the iPhone XR for about $200. It does look a little bit more modern. Even that chipset is still kind of old. I did pick up the iPhone XS Max to review. It works a lot better. Even that phone can struggle from time to time, and my review video of that will be out in the next few weeks. Even that one is even more interesting than this one. So if you're really strapped for cash, look into the iPhone XR, the XS, or the XS Max, because they do hover around the $200 mark. They are a little bit more modern. It's something to look into. So like always, it's V, stay classy.